If you want to follow a diet that has no scientific backing, logically doesn't make sense with our anatomy, then go ahead, be my guest. Obviously I hate that for the animals, but I also feel like that's natural selection just doing its part and weeding people out who aren't able to look at themselves in the mirror and realize that, hey, I don't have fangs, I don't have claws. If I was out in the wild and I wasn't able to make tools, I would have literally no way to hunt and kill animals, but this is clearly my perfect ideal food when our hands are perfect for going and picking the fruit and putting it right in our mouth. There's no preparation needed. It is immediately pleasing to all of our senses, whereas an animal is not appetizing in any way. Raw meat, especially when it's still on the animal with their face, with their fur, like just cut apart, it is disgusting. We're literally disgusted by blood and guts. That's why it's in horror movies, and they use the screams of animals in slaughterhouses and horror movies as well, because it's literally horrifying. And if you were a carnivore, that would sound like dinner. That stench of going to a slaughterhouse, and if you've never been to a slaughterhouse, I'm not going to say I highly recommend it because it's literally hell on earth, but I think you should go. I've been to a slaughterhouse, not inside of it, but I was outside of it, and the stench is something that will literally never leave my brain. It is the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. And if I was a carnivore, that would smell like dinner to me. Rant over. Hi, welcome to Humane Experience. My name's Haley, and today's episode I am not looking forward to be completely honest with you. Why am I doing it? Well, a few weeks back I did a reacting to vegans on Reddit, and that video did surprisingly well. You guys really liked it, so I just thought I would do the flip side of it now and react to carnivores on Reddit. The difference being I have been on vegan Reddit before, so yes, when I made that video I hadn't looked at it that day or planned for that video, but I've been on vegan Reddit before. I've been vegan myself for over 9 years, so I'm kind of familiar with, I guess, the vegan world. I have never been on carnivore Reddit before. I really don't know much about carnivores apart from like what I see in troll comments, essentially. So this is going to be interesting. I'm a little nervous, but let's just dive right in together. So I have not looked at any of this before. I've not ever been on our carnivore. So I'm just scared. Why have I never looked into carnivore? Because I only have so much time and so much space in my brain. I really don't want to fill it researching stuff that I think is just common sense, that it's pretty dumb. But let's see what people are saying. So the top post says, "Goodbye, carnivore." That's a good sign, I guess, for the animals, right? Alright, let's read it. As the title says, I was strict for 4 months. However, as an athlete, amateur soccer player, my body was just not functioning after 6 weeks. Only felt good in the first 6 weeks when I was eating 5,000 plus calories a day because I decided to bulk. My mistake, and put in 12 kilograms. Started carnivore because I'd get a lot of bloating in my lower belly after eating a lot of fruit, no other reason. I've been eating clean foods for 2 years now. Carnivore has been a great journey. I'm glad I did it. Never thought I could give up my daily yogurt. LOL. Been off it for over a month, doing animal-based with some sourdough bread, potatoes, rice every now and then, and not being as completely strict, and I'm a lot happier and enjoying life. I am thriving again after adding carbs into my diet. I just could not deny that my body was not functioning. I could barely run 1 kilometer. After searching for athletes reference, it was quite clear that all these top performance Olympic athletes thrive on carbs. I am now back to my best, doing 5 to 10 kilometer runs easy. I just thought I'd share my experience. Goodbye and thank you. Edit, wow, did not think there was going to be so many people hurt in the comment section. Thought my post was humble and was just sharing my experience. Never said carnivore doesn't work. My main meals are still beeping eggs, can't get enough, that's blah, blah, blah. Okay, a lot to respond to there. I'm kind of scared for the comments because they're already adding an edit because people are offended in the comments. But yeah, I guess it makes sense. They're an athlete and they were eating a 0-carb diet. I don't know why people in general think that's a good idea, but especially an athlete knows that you need the fuel, you need the carbohydrates. Someone else said, my experience has been the opposite, that I now have seemingly unlimited endurance eating 0 carbs. But if you're happy and healthy, I'm happy for you. Glad you found what works for your goals. Well, it's interesting how this guy didn't list any references. Like the first guy was saying how many kilometers he runs. This guy just says he has unlimited endurance. So who knows how much he's actually working out. Someone said, opposite experience, carbs kill my performance. Meat is king. Good luck to you though. Someone said, took me about 6 months to fully adapt. 6 months is a long time. When I went vegan, it didn't take any time to adapt. Actually, I felt better that day. I felt better the next day. And then by the end of the week, I just felt even better. But not saying that's everyone's experience going vegan either. When people report their experience with carnivore. Oh, and by the way, I'm on a browser where like I'm not logged in, so my Reddit searches aren't having any kind of influence on what's coming up. I don't know exactly how the algorithm works on Reddit, but I'm assuming that what you look at would affect it. But I'm on a guest user, so top comment says carb addiction, variety in taste and texture, social discomfort. So I think that's one thing vegans and carnivores have in common. It's the social discomfort because you're eating something different, but I don't really feel uncomfortable eating my plants around people. I do feel uncomfortable being around people eating dead animals. Carb addiction is a funny thing to say. That's like, oh, I have a water addiction. It's like, okay, yeah, I have a carb addiction. And like, you know, I look fine. I'm not fat. I'm, you know, I eat a lot of carbs pretty much every meal. Someone said it's a hard diet to mentally stick to for me. Yeah, well, I mean, you're eating nothing but the corpses of tortured animals who were enslaved for you and bred to be turned into products. And then on top of that, you're consuming flesh, tendons, and blood. Someone said my favorite food is steak. Okay, first of all, it's not a food. That is a cow's dead body. Okay, my favorite drug is pizza, and it's hard to stay sober. It's because he wants the carbs. Pizza is just meat and cheese plus carbs, which he probably lets himself eat the cheese and meat, but that's why he's dreaming of pizza and falling back into pizza, because he's probably scared to just eat like fruit or some whole grains. That's one thing is like these carnivore people, a lot of them will admit that fruit is healthy, start adding fruit back into it, but then they're like scared of grains, probably because their digestive systems get so weak and out of balance and they get horrible gut dysbiosis because they are eating no fiber and nothing but meat and animal secretions. So I assume it would be kind of hard to digest a lot of things after doing that, especially if it was for an extended period of time. Someone said, too restricting / boring. I'm never going back to sad carbs, so I feel way too alive on carnivore. I'll take boring meals over feeling like crap. You know, that alive feeling that this person is talking about, just guessing, could be the fact that they're in ketosis, so their body's in like a state of survival essentially, and their body's pumping out a lot of cortisol and a lot of hormones to like try and motivate you to go and get food and give you the energy to go out and forage, obtain food. So you're getting all this cortisol and all these spikes in stress hormones essentially. What really makes you feel alive is eating lots of plants, lots of vibrant, bright colors, raw juices, fruit juices, vegetable juices, nice creams made out of frozen bananas and pineapples and dragon fruits and smoothie bowls and some salads, smoothies. Those things will make you feel alive. At least those things make me feel alive. I've never felt alive after eating a dead animal. Maybe the stress and the cortisol makes you feel alive. But if you want to truly feel your best, give up all those animal products and you will thank me for it later. Someone said, I am 2 months on carnivore without a single cheat meal, but mostly been on it for 4 months now. It's driving me insane. I am tired of meat. I do not blame anyone for quitting. I'm going in 2 years and I have no clue why people stop. It just keeps getting better and easier and easier. It's all about mental willpower until your body catches up. Our LDL will be like 300 and they think it's healthy. I wonder how many people are actually doing this. I've never met a long-term carnivore. I've met a few people who tried it and they didn't stay on it because they were having issues. One of them was an old coworker that I had, and he said that his testosterone actually got dangerously low and he got put on like testosterone replacement and he was having some other issues while he was on carnivore. And I've also heard about like electrolyte imbalances. You're not getting any vitamin C. Meat is really not as nutrient dense as people like to say it is, especially when you put it side by side with vegetables or plant matter. It's usually a lot lower in overall nutrition. I know some people eat the organs, like the livers and stuff, which also can be toxic because there could be toxic levels of vitamin A, which when you get it from animal sources, your body has no way to filter out the vitamin A. There can also be toxic metals, heavy metals like mercury stored in the animal's livers as well. So if you are someone who's considering going on the carnivore diet, I would definitely recommend you to be careful. I mean, there's people who like claim to be doing it and they're fine. The human body is a remarkable thing. It's able to survive a lot of things like the SAD diet, but we don't need to be abusing our bodies this way or abusing animals. 1 month on carnivore, my negative experience, never will I eat meat again. I know there is some beef going on between the carnivore and vegan guys, so I just wanted to add my 2 cents from being a former member of the r/carnivore subreddit. Oh, so this one showed up on a vegan page. I still want to read it though because I'm already invested now. So I was/am moderately depressed and some major gut issues I wanted to address. I got persuaded initially by Jordan and Michaela Peterson because the only beef diet seemed to work for her especially. Being desperate for a cure, I eventually bought into all the crazy theories of the carnivore lifestyle and started the diet. Oh gosh. Jordan and Michaela Peterson. I feel like Jordan Peterson's losing his mind now. Like, I see him in interviews just breaking down and crying all the time. And, you know, his wife went on this carnivore diet. His daughter convinced him and his wife to get on it. And then his wife ended up with cancer. You could say it's not related, but it was after following the carnivore diet for, I think, a couple of years. I also heard him in an interview. I wonder if I could find a clip to put in here, but he was saying that he ate, I think it was oatmeal, a bite of oatmeal, and he was filled with impending doom. I think it was on Joe Rogan. He said,
and we had some apple cider. That was really not good. Like, I was done for a month.
We're done for a month?
Oh yeah, it took me out for a month. The worst day of my life.
What was it doing to you?
Oh, it produced an overwhelming sense of impending doom. And I seriously mean overwhelming. Like, there's no way I could have lived like that if that would have lasted for... See, Michaela knew by that point that it would probably only last a month, and I was like...
A month?
Yeah,
from
a month.
Fucking cider?
So if you want your body to be so sensitive that a bite of oatmeal causes your mental health to collapse for months on end, then you should definitely follow the same diet as Jordan and Michaela Peterson.
Oh, I didn't sleep that month. I didn't sleep for 25 days. I didn't sleep
What?
at all. I didn't sleep at all for 25 days.
How is that possible? That should
I'll tell
kill
you how it's possible. You lay in bed, frozen in something approximating terror for 8 hours, and then you get up.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, not
And
good.
this is from fucking cider. From cider.
That's what we thought. Yeah. I mean, look, again, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, this is all a mystery.
Anyway, back to this person's post. So they were inspired by Jordan and Michaela, and they were desperate for a cure, so they bought into the carnivore lifestyle. Then they say, I want to keep it short, so essentially I tried it out for 1 month and became severely underweight, dizzy all the time, and pretty much miserable all the way. Then I seeked validation from the r/carnivore sub, asking for help and describing my bad reactions to the diet. The moderators immediately banned me from posting on there and started to question the validity of my diseases, and then got really fucking hostile. I guess what I'm saying is that the people there really filter out the negative reactions to the diet and only let pass the positive ones. As a consequence, people fall into this crap way too deep, even when being fucking miserable on the diet. This was my first and hopefully last experience participating in a cult. I always thought I would be immune to this shit, but I guess desperate people succumb to desperate shit. I agree with this top comment here. I was already having this thought. They said there's a lot of reasons to be vegan, but it can't just magically fix all your problems. Don't expect it to and start yo-yoing on random diets. You should look into the ethical/moral reasons to be vegan or jump over to the plant-based subreddit. Yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, he just barely left the carnivore subreddit and then now he's just jumping over into the vegan one, saying like, oh, I just left a cult. Not that veganism's a cult, but it's like some people are always looking for just like a group or a label to be a part of. For me, like, I'm vegan not just because I want a label. In fact, I'm usually against like labels and, you know, needing to call yourself something, but it's just something that it's the best way to describe the way I believe, and I guess it's a movement that most closely aligns with my ethics and the kind of impact that I want to make on the world. Carnivore, I don't know what the ethics are for that. I don't know what like the spiritual side of that would be, except for like darkness and evil and like Satanism, where, you know, you're sacrificing animals, because people think of animal sacrifice as like, oh, it was these special rituals and these animals were just killed and tossed aside, when in reality it's anytime you kill an animal to use them as food, you're making a sacrifice. You're sacrificing their life. And so if you call yourself Christian or religious of any like sort aside from pagan, but you're practicing animal sacrifice, then there's already a mismatch there. Like, there's gotta already be something in your heart that doesn't sit right there if you truly believe in what you say you do. Someone said, who knew that eating only meat would be bad for you? Crazy stuff. Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's why I haven't explored the carnivore diet, because I'm just like, I already know it's going to be bad, because I'm someone who actually researches into nutrition science, and time and time and time again in nutrition science, it shows the correlation between more meat and more cancer and more diabetes and more obesity, and less meat and you have less of all of those things. You'd have to be very conspiratorial to buy into the carnivore diet, and I'm conspiratorial to an extent. Like, I've always liked looking into conspiracies, questioning the way things are. I think we should be taught how to think, not what to think. But I mean, no, don't trust in the science blindly, but to disregard like all of the scientific literature when there is not a single scientific study that's been done that backs the carnivore diet. The only one that I've seen referenced was a self-reported study that people keep referencing as if it was an actual study that was done when it was just people self-reporting. If you want to follow a diet that has no scientific backing, logically doesn't make sense with our anatomy, then go ahead, be my guest. Obviously I hate that for the animals, but I also feel like that's natural selection just doing its part and weeding people out who aren't able to look at themselves in the mirror and realize that, hey, I don't have fangs, I don't have claws. If I was out in the wild and I wasn't able to make tools, I would have literally no way to hunt and kill animals, but this is clearly my perfect ideal food when our hands are perfect for going and picking the fruit and putting it right in our mouth. There's no preparation needed. It is immediately pleasing to all of our senses, whereas an animal is not appetizing in any way. Raw meat, especially when it's still on the animal with their face, with their fur, like just cut apart, it is disgusting. We're literally disgusted by blood and guts. That's why it's in horror movies. And they use the screams of animals in slaughterhouses and horror movies as well, because it's literally horrifying. And if you were a carnivore, that would sound like dinner. That stench of going to a slaughterhouse, and if you've never been to a slaughterhouse, I'm not going to say I highly recommend it because it's literally hell on earth, but I think you should go. I've been to a slaughterhouse, not inside of it, but I was outside of it, and the stench is something that will literally never leave my brain. It is the worst thing I've ever smelled in my life. And if I was a carnivore, that would smell like dinner to me. Rant over. But if you can't use common sense, I'm not here to talk to people who can't use common sense. Natural selection, do your job. This one's on Our Medicine, and this is somebody ranting. So I think this is like a doctor ranting about the carnivore diet, but let's just read it together and then we'll find out. So, the current trend of the carnivore diet is mind-boggling. I'm an oncologist, and over the past 12 months, I've noticed an increasing number of patients, predominantly men in their 40s to 60s, who either enthusiastically endorse the carnivore diet or ask me my opinion on it. Just yesterday, I saw a patient who was morbidly obese with hypertension and an oncologic disorder who asked me my opinion on using the carnivore diet for 4 months to reset his system. He said someone at work had told him a carnivore diet helped with all of his autoimmune disorders. Obviously, even though I'm not a dietitian, I told him that the predominant evidence supports a plant-based diet to help with the metabolic disorders. But as you can imagine, that advice was not heard. That's interesting because this isn't even on like a vegan subreddit or anything. This is just a doctor being like, okay, this is what the science shows for your disorders. A plant-based diet is better. And then, anyway, to keep reading, as you can imagine, that advice was not heard. Is this coming from Dr. Joe Rogan?
From fucking cider. From cider.
Regardless of the source, it's bound to keep my cardiology colleagues busy for the next several years. Update 126. Wow, I didn't anticipate this level of engagement. I guess I hit a nerve. I do think it's important for physicians and other healthcare providers to discuss diets with patients. You'll be surprised what you learn. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, honestly, this kind of hits me in a way too, because just like her patient in this story, somebody actually got to my grandmother in the same way. One of my grandma's friends brought her to some sort of seminar that this carnivore guy was giving in town, and he convinced my grandma that the carnivore diet is healthy. And I don't think she actually fully committed to the carnivore diet, but she was basically being under the impression that she needed to eat more meat and more eggs. When her cholesterol is high, her doctors have wanted her to go on statins. I believe she was on statins, and then she stopped taking them because of the side effects. And I tried talking to her about her diet, how she needs to avoid cholesterol-raising foods like eggs and meat, but because of this carnivore guy at this seminar who got into her head, she won't listen to me that eggs are going to raise her cholesterol. She says, no, apparently it's fine. Eggs and eating foods with cholesterol doesn't raise your cholesterol. And I'm like, well, It does. It's just common sense. Like if you eat foods with iron in it, it's going to raise your levels of iron. It's the same exact thing with the stuff we don't want as well. So you can't just pick and choose. Let's read some responses to this though. So I think this is another doctor responding. And they said, had a young guy come in with double vision and descending paralysis after eating raw beef after some carnivore diet influencer nut job told him to. Yup, treating botulism in 2024 because of carnivore and raw diet BS. Good learning case for the residents though. Someone said, I bet he never did that again. They say botulism is hell. I mean, any food poisoning is, but someone I know got it, and it's hard to describe how unbearable it was. Well, the double vision and descending paralysis probably freaked him the F out too. No more raw meat, I think. Hope. What is descending paralysis? That doesn't sound good. I'm going to Google this. Descending paralysis is a medical condition where muscle weakness begins in the upper body and progresses downward, often requiring medical intervention. Okay. Muscle weakness that starts in the face, eyes, or arms and moves towards the lower body. Drooping eyelids, double vision, difficulty speaking, weakness in the neck or upper limbs. Well, that sounds scary. I'm glad that in all my years of being vegan, I've never heard of that happening to someone from a plant-based diet. Anytime I hear about this diet, it reminds me of when I did colorectal surgery and I just kept thinking about how uncomfy their poops must be. And then someone else added, and smelly. Yeah, I don't want to think about that. Regular meat eaters already have smelly poops, so I don't even want to imagine what a carnivore's poop who only eats meat would smell like. I have a sister-in-law and her family that does it, and they even make their kids do it. Their kids? When one of them gets a cold, they blame it on sugar or popcorn that they might have eaten. They carry bacon and snack bags for when they go on outings. They think fruits and vegetables are poison. I don't even know what to say to any of that.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Oh my god. Oh my, okay. We just need to do a refresh on society. Escape, alt delete, restart. Let's go back to the Garden of Eden and just stay there. Don't go out there killing God's little baby animals. Sounding like a Christian over here. I watched Christspiracy. That movie stuck with me. I want to watch it again. Because I don't remember everything from it, but I do remember that Jesus was not a fan of the animal sacrifices. Christians out there, please respond in the comments because I'm interested in this topic right now. What do you think about God and his perfect world and his creations, and what do you think about dominion? What does dominion over the animals mean to you? Please respond. I genuinely want to know. I'm going to search carnivore success. Let's give them a chance to read some success stories because those aren't coming up on their own, so we'll have to cherry pick some. Someone said carnivore success, losing 47 pounds in 7 months. Now, there's pictures you guys can't see. I mean, she looks good now, but looks can be deceiving. Someone can look good on the outside and inside their arteries can look like this. So I guess today would be my 4th completed day of carnivore. I think I'm down about 6 pounds, but as the title says, what does your stool look like? What does your stool look like? I noticed for one, I'm going every day like clockwork late at night, and it's always, in all caps, always diarrhea-ish. Second day here, yesterday night I shat my pants. That was fun. They warned me about that. I thought I'd know when I was about to shit myself. Well, I learned something new yesterday. Anyone know when that stops so I don't have to sleep with a towel in my pants, afraid of every fart, coloring the sheets unknowingly? Anyone? Oh my god. This is hard to read. Someone said, don't eat hog fat. Don't overdo your electrolytes is my best advice. I take generic Imodium every day before work. It's a long walk to the restroom. You know, I didn't have to deal with any of this when I went vegan, just saying, like, my poops pretty much got better right away. They were just more regular and don't smell anymore. So, that's a flex. How many carnivores out there can say that their shit doesn't stink? Probably none of y'all. Someone said, normal now after 6 months strict. The microbiome takes time to adapt. Just takes time for all of your good bacteria to die off and decay. Then they said, first month is disaster pants time. Don't trust a fart the first 2 weeks. Eating plants will give you pleasant poops. Eating meat will make you shit your own shoes. Does that have a ring to it? I don't know. It'll probably take about 2 months. Oh wait, I need to finish this other one actually, because what the hell? If you go to this way of eating from a clean, as an unprocessed and low sugar, sort of almost low carb diet, the issue doesn't arise so much until you play around with upping the fat levels. I found that I needed an amount of fat about the size of my fist per day. When I prioritize fat to the edge of feeling slightly queasy and then go eat my meat, eggs, or fish mixed with fat, whatever, I can eat less, feel satiated, and stick to the diet without pain. Why would you be getting pain? You need to explain this. Why should you be feeling pain? And why are you eating fat to the edge of feeling slightly queasy? I don't care what diet you're on, if you have to make yourself feel queasy in order to stick to the diet without pain, this doesn't sound like a good idea. I know I'm biased. I know I have my vegan bias, but this just sounds like a terrible idea. This next part is like, wow, I haven't read it, but from what I can see, I just can't even believe this. Okay, remember you are now absorbing almost absolutely everything. Only plant-derived materials come out, even in a baby's poop. So you have less waste. It's totally normal for carnivore BMs to be smaller and a little odd compared to the monster fiber-filled bulky ones that herbivores do. I had to push through mine being basically little blobs of brown mucus for about a month. I don't know how to tell you this, alien PNZ. That's called severe and chronic constipation. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that none of what you said was correct.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
It'll probably take about 2 months strict for it to fully go to normal poops. It's normal, so to speak, to have watery and unpleasant bowels till then. We've got 3 people currently in our way of eating unit. Is this like a compound? Are they allowed to leave? Do you have people locked up and you're forcing them to eat the carnivore diet? And everyone's taken about that long for adjustment once serious about it. So how long does it take before they're serious? Oh my god. Someone said watery AF too. I tried to go on carnivore twice before and never had problems like this. But now it's like I eat 5 eggs or a bit of ground beef and in 10 minutes, hello toilet old friend, I'm pissing through my ass. So if anyone knows what to do, please help. I had to add in fruits, but that didn't help. This might be the most disturbing Reddit thread I've ever read through, and I'm doing it on camera. This is so disgusting. Someone said it's weird how a lot of people get diarrhea on carnivore. I personally got pretty constipated when strict carnivore, regardless of fat intake. You know, I think it was from Dr. Will Bolshewiks. It might have not been, but it was from some sort of gut expert. They were saying that constipation can actually show as diarrhea because basically there's a blockage in there and like everything else is just trying to like squeeze its way around it. Gross to think about, but I don't experience those kinds of things because I just eat plants. To be having these kind of problems and to just think it's normal is like so crazy to me. Well, I'm 5 months in and it's rare that it is solid, soft like baby food, occasionally like watery baby food. I'm still trying to figure out how much fat I need and don't need. I don't know how much more of this I can read. Like, I'm not about to eat, but like I'm losing my appetite. Like, I'm nauseous like thinking about this, especially thinking about the fact that they are carnivores. Like, all they eat is dead raw meat. Like, when people eat too much meat, I can actually smell it like coming out of their pores. I don't know if that's super heightened senses that I have from being a vegan. I have no idea, but suddenly like I can smell the meat people eat. I think we were talking about it in one of the interviews I did. Like, it's a thing. My poops still aren't right. 20 months in, some days are fine, other days are straight diarrhea. I'm sorry to report. This sounds horrible. I don't want to read this anymore, but I feel like I should because I feel like we've just gotten to like the root of actual real reporting and not just people being like everything's perfect. Like, this is the real reality of it that nobody wants to talk about. Just getting started again, but the first time round I went as normal on the first day, which means several urges throughout the day, but only went once, and it was a weird combination of constipation and diarrhea. Loose but still hard to pass. Took several wipes to clean. I then had no urges and no discomfort for 2 or 3 days. Had an urge when, and it was probably the easiest and cleanest I've ever had, done in about 30 seconds. That's the easiest that you've ever had? So you've never had one done in less than 30 seconds? Is that why people be in the bathroom so long? Like, I just assume they're texting in there. Nobody will know the difference whether I am going pee or I'm going poo. I'll be gone the same exact amount of time. I might just have to sign off from the video now. I need to go cleanse my thoughts with something other than the carnivore diet. But if you've ever tried it, please tell me what your results were below. I am genuinely curious, and I'm not gonna judge you. I might judge you a little bit, but we're just here to talk. We're here to discover. And hopefully we're here to not harm and exploit animals for silly diet fads that are going to make you shit your pants.